That's what I, that's, I've never been there. I think if you can get it set here. I did. Everybody's.
Yeah, I finished, and then after that, 4 o'clock. Super tired.
Notice that.
I guess I'm always like.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting over. We have a board. Andrew, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray, Heavenly Father. We come to you, Kathy Lawrence, one of our board members, on our Boston Point last week. Mark is struggling for his life right now. Dear Lord, we pray that touch him, be with him, and be with his family. Dear Lord God, bless those who serve us. In his precious name, we pray. All right. You have in front of you the August minutes. And, guys, need a minute to glance through those. A minute here. And then I'll entertain a motion to approve the August 7th.
I also have minutes just from July saying that we didn't have a meeting. It's fine. Or like 2 things.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the August minutes. And
Everybody's made a motion, is there a second? Second. And there's a second, all those in favor say aye.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to
Second.
make a motion to sign the July minutes, just saying we have a 4 minute meeting.
Second. And we made a motion to approve the July meeting where we did not have a quorum. This week. Andrew, second, all those in favor say aye.
Right.
Uh, courtesy of Mr. Green, John, at the, I believe it was the August meeting, Max brought up a couple of things, and we don't expect you to answer these questions this evening, but he had a couple of questions about on the rules and procedures, and I don't know, I think it was section 1.3, section 3, is that right, Max?
I'd have to go back and look at the videos, but the rules and procedures for the Washington County BZA, what I brought up and specified that they had to put notice on the board when they canceled the meeting. And there's a meeting legally advertised in the newspaper, and then it never happened. And that's the one I asked the question about. That their procedures say that had to happen.
That's where the magnetic shall comes in. And what you're talking about is in 1.3, section 3, is that right?
I'm not sure right now because my crib notes are gone. I didn't bring my glasses with me tonight.
Okay,
I was
okay, well, when you get that We get that, found there, just let us know and we'll try to address it. If that's all right. with you.
Okay, yeah.
Address it next week.
That'd be fine,
I
sir.
don't want to forget you, man.
Okay. And then the other contention was the, 2011 on the, division of property. The May 1st,
Okay.
just a reminder what the,
Okay, now. Last Friday, Danielle and Emily spent hours and hours and hours going back over everything we had approved the last several years. Because we're to the point, we're gonna have to compile all this and eventually we'll send it to the publishing, yes. Indeed. The publishing company. Because there's no way anybody here can. It would be a full-time job. It would take a long time. Trying to go through all the old ordinances to make sure that we don't have duplicate ordinances. So in other words, that will take place probably early next year. But for now, for tonight, they had brought up a couple of questions and going through everything here. And if you'll open that folder you've got, we're gonna skip down through 1 through 5, because that we do know that's already been voted on here and drafted and complete. When you go to chapter 6, that's kind of out of our wheelhouse because even though it will have to be in the final document, we have a county flood control manager, Mr. Travis Elliott, and he has basically it's the states. We're just following state rules anyway. And it's got a date notation here that it's currently chapter 151. Now you got to understand when this final document is done, I seriously doubt that this company, American Eagle Publishing, will call chapter 6 chapter 6. They'll just incorporate it into our existing 151. So, but that's irrelevant. Just want to let you know that. Chapter 7. You guys help me out here if I speak incorrectly as far as what we haven't had completed, but we did have a draft for permit certificates procedures, did we not?
If there was one, I don't have a copy of it, and Danielle said she did. So that's the one that we really have to know. Between the two of us, we didn't know.
Something about permit. So we talked about this. Permits and certificates. Was there's something like that?
I didn't, but we didn't know if that was what they were Travis about. So we didn't know if one of the existing documents that we already have in it. We've already voted on the communications of the county. So it's already been there.
My recollection was that on chapter 7, permits, certificates, and procedures, we were going to use the same permitting certificates and procedure process that we always had. In other words, that didn't really need tweaked, so to speak, because it's not like we're changing any zoning, land use rules in that section. We're just stating what is the permitting process, what is the certificate process, and what are the procedures for something that he's been doing for 20+ years. In other words, my recollection was we didn't need to change anything that, unless at some point he decides to change the amount of the fee, which at that point he would bring it to us and or the commissioners, and we would be approved accordingly. Any questions on what I just said about chapter 7, or do any of you feel we need to dig deeper? I guess I can go back to the minutes and make sure that's 100% right. In all these years we've been going through this, I never recall us making any statements about a permitting process. In other words, we weren't going to change it because what we've got now is working. Did you ladies happen to see anything? You didn't see anything at all about chapter 7, right? That's what you're saying?
You guys are going through this, where I made notes where it's like on where the chapter 6, it says it's chapter 151. I printed the chapter 151 and it's like in order in there as if it was chapters. So you guys are. And then for chapter 40 is, for chapter 8, it says it's chapter 40. I printed that up and it's kind of,
Chapter 8 is?
or what we think. We already have in existence, which is chapter
Right.
40. I printed it. And then what we have, we currently working on for the subdivision control ordinance, it's in the stack. And so is the current confined feeding that we have on record is. Everything's kind of just laying in here. In these orders.
So confined feeding, enforcement, and what else?
Chapter 151 and the subdivision forward. I didn't staple anything together.
Yeah.
Didn't know. We still putting first.
And then on chapter 9, definitions. You got a check mark beside that.
And there was one that they provided to us that we looked at. And that's just not very definite. I'm sure there needs to be more added. That was what we had from file. And it's in here. I have it at the top of this chapter, the question mark. And there was repeating. the first thing on that commission. I didn't know it was. So it's only 3 pages.
Where, is that in the very back,
Yeah, towards the back.
appendix A?
This is page 4.
I don't know measurements. Yeah.
This page is full. Does it actually say chapter 9?
Yeah. Things and that's all.
Okay.
There's just not very many on there. I assume there'll be more. There might also might not. be everything. I don't know.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Chapter 5.
I didn't print it out.
It's not in.
It's not in there. Me and, how many pages was it in on the Google Doc? It's a lot. And I didn't print it out because it's not. So I didn't put it. But it's a lot of pages. It's like this stack. So it's the only one that's. It's being worked on. It's still on.
And it's not been completed. We're not been through it.
We still, we look, I mean, you look, I mean, we still have like 5 pages to you.
I'm looking at it now. I still like, looks like several pages have not touched and get to that.
But it's just left on because I didn't want to. I didn't want anyone to think it was completed. So I just put check marks next to it because we know where it's at.
Gotcha.
So where do you say this is chapter 1 permit? Is that a question or is that a statement?
That was questions. Well, for us, for tonight. We don't have, like, so KK was like the consultant. We never got any documents that said chapter 6. But we're going back this, I don't know how to call it. The context. It's, she said that we were already following the state's model code, doesn't mean our published code, which was 151. That's what happened. So that's what's printed is in here, is the current, what we think we're following. And then on chapter 8 is this chapter 40 of the registration. It's also in here. That might be fix it.
So on chapter 6, what is it? And chapter 8, enforcement. That is already in our current document. Nothing needs to be changed in that. If it does need changed, it will be very minor and it will be down the road when it's a problem somewhere. Because flood hazards, that's just simply going by the state's model code. Okay, this first question you guys come up with while you're going through all this, where do we put subdivision control ordinance? I don't think that is up to us because it overlaps. Like if you take the current document, it's got land use and building regulations, zoning planning and planning and development, which is 150 through 154. So that answers that question. That's where it would need to go. Because that's what it is.
So this whole document we're working on will kind of fall within that big binder you're carrying around. So it's not taking its place, it's just.
Yes, that- the
That's what I was like.
the company that eventually does this is going to have to sift through our new stuff, compare with our old, to make sure we don't have duplicate regulations, but it will still be section chapter 150 to 154 in our,
Okay, that makes sense. So confined feeding is kind of the same way, it's already.
yeah. I don't think it's in this. I think it's got its own section.
I think it was
It was kind of interesting.
it was in a different document. It was in.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was.
Either way,
It's a
we,
different,
we know it is a place.
format. It's a different. It's just, it's already on the county. Document.
Yeah, it's done.
So you don't have those points. Which was an answer to the third one, probably, we already have it as an active.
I don't know, can you explain this question? I don't understand. What from published code there's here.
Well, you answered it actually. We're not, it's not taking place of what you're carrying around. Or the published codes that we already have, but be worked in. Added to the work. We didn't know, but we already had. Kind of loaded it into this new document.
Yes.
What you're saying. They're doing it, not us. Yeah, we're not doing it. Yeah, so that was that question. Yeah.
Dan jumped in column. If you have done it, that's not very much. But she would have time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
But that was what that question was, but you answered it like 3 minutes, so that was the conversation we were having.
okay. Okay, so 6, 7, and 8, we've pretty much answered those because they're either not going to change or they have their flood hazard. It has its own section anyway, and we're not getting into that. It's basically states code.
Is it the definitions that we have, we're probably just get added to the definitions that are already in there.
That's right.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with understand that part? Last six pretty much, already pretty much cut and dry. Now, help me out here. What was there on chapter 5? That I thought we had been through over to the backwards in several previous meetings. That was not totally complete. Bicycle parking there?
The next I'm looking at, we stopped chapter 5. 5/19, we stopped on March 3rd this year. Page 19 of chapter 5. So that's it. I think we could think that 5/19, there was some added that section about you. But then I see the notes for 2021. I don't know what this.
So I think, 2020 comments, where we received. Comments, and Emily. Others, and so that's where I.
And I just hope we made it.
So you think where you haven't been here,
I had it in the office earlier today.
just call it 5/18.
Yeah, they know the ending at least.
I commented in March
Yeah.
3 that, there was a motion to approve section 18, that was passed, and it was dropped. So what you're saying there, we think we start on section 19, 5/19, and go through the rest of chapter 5.
That's what I understand.
Unless we hit a point, and at some point, we're like, oh yeah, we've done that, but I'm pretty sure we have to finish.
That makes sense to me. So do we have, does everybody have a copy of chapter 5?
Or I can move over there though, if I may now.
I'm just thinking, is that what we want to do, is start back up?
We're gonna have to do something.
And before we start doing more stuff.
Yes.
John wants the floor before we start our, chapter 5.
Great.
By contract for the field service planning commission runs to the end of the year. I will have to ask you to review that contract. And the last 5 months, not been very good for me. Thank you. You need to be on the search for a new attorney for the planning. I'm. Uh, physically, I'm a little better in shape, but mentally, it's not coming back as quick as it needs to. Yeah. I had one surgery May first, I stroke. There we are. And that's just for you.
We appreciate your service and everything you've done. You've been top notch. You've always been available and accessible and
Listen,
we'll certainly be keeping in touch. And we'll certainly, I'm willing to get some advice from you on who you suggest to replace.
Um, I'm willing to comment and discuss.
Okay.
Um, in terms of doing anything that's focused, if I tried to get in the middle of section 519, section 540, section 541.
Yeah.
I'd be skipping back to section 540.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
You'll need to apologize. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Well, I'll do what I can and
I know you will.
whatever.
I know you will. Okay. Thanks, John. Before we get into this 519 first over, Kevin, and start editing what we have in front of us. Do you have a copy of that in front of you, Travis? Let me go make a quick copy. The reason I'm asking you that is because once again, you are the guy that's going to have to force these things. That or attempt to. That is a job in itself, I know. Eyes.
it's not. You need the restroom, my son. Take the box around. Hey, there's your box. I didn't do it. I'll do that for you, no problem. Okay. Here.
Hi, John.
this.
You know what, you got a copy? I got another one.
Might not, Travis.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, but
I got another copy here too.
As you read through 519.1, does anybody really have any issues with what it says? Because everything, in my opinion, that it states there is basically was following Indiana code. In other words, and it's, you know, which includes septic, driveway. I would assume, Travis, on your end, you don't want somebody just throwing up a shack, even though they may be living in it on a seasonal basis, it still must meet minimum requirements. Would you agree with that?
If it's contractor built, but and such as self-construction, we don't have to say so, but their minimums have to be followed. And
Well, even if it's self-construction, they still have to have a septic system. And if it's got indoor plumbing, it still has to meet
yes,
specifications.
yes. Health department's awful says.
And it is just because it's a tourist home or cabin, doesn't mean it should not follow your building code specification, correct?
Right. That's, yeah, that's not there. It will have.
Yeah.
When you say the word not, not, just in general, when the word said, I'm just building a cabin, a lot of different. So,
That's the problem.
so that,
And is there a difference if this? I guess when I say tourist home, that means I'm inviting the public to it versus I just live in it. So there would be different comes to the
Comes to my mind is this is too easy for someone to build a cabin for themselves today. And later tomorrow and next week they post it on Airbnb
that's not as specific as anything.
and it becomes easily now a commercial. Yeah, I don't know. There's these, 519 is pretty detailed, but if there's a difference between the code of having to build something versus, I wouldn't think people are going to come to your office for a permit, which is all I did was basically was for having on Airbnb. So if you read through some of this, do you think there'll be violation of this?
well, I would say what's going to come up first is you come in and get a permit for this structure or this intended use. What is Washington County or what is their opinion of the okay, I came in and I got this permit and I completed the structure under this, whatever, this type of permit, and then at the end of 6 months, so the uses change.
And we're really talking about new construction, that cabin doesn't exist today. What about cabins that are this now, this gets put into code? Then that's something, then these cabins are, used commercially. Are they gonna need to update their, safety standards on the diagrams on these cabins or?
On, on existing structures, and then, if they turn it into a cabin, let's just say, for instance, a lot of times that, now I'm talking just, let's say that they were using it for their own, a little bit, versus the first, or we address that later. That would just fall under basically classification. It's an existing structure. They're not increasing the footprint. But if they turn it into like a tourist, like what Daniel was talking about, something that would involve tourists, that's a different classification. But I would need more new construction. We're gonna, we come in and, well, we're just gonna live in it. We're just building this ourselves. And then, and then you go down the road, not long, get have a power comes on, well, or something. So, I mean, I think the board's going to address that because it's that. So.
So I don't know any of that. I think so. Well, yeah. So do they have to post some type of certificate, anything on those?
Yeah, that's Chris. I don't know how he's.
It's no different than,
And does it change them? I mean, does it contradict in that code itself? And that takes place, I mean, are other, check to see how other counties are handling that code?
Well, I would just think, just if you go to your zoning map, you have residential areas, like you're saying, then this cabin or structure was built for residential use. All of a sudden it switches. I would think that would interfere with your zones.
I don't like cities and stuff, I don't know, Boston, Washington. Like, rent out a whole house. I live in it, not from, but Auburn now. I'm gonna kind of see the conquer of what Airbnb. You can go with my house Saturdays.
I did question for health department. To me, it'd be no different than a hotel or a motel. Because it says specifically tourists. Would be people in and out there all the time. So aside from the health department, is there anything in 519 that anybody has any problem with as far as the wording? Because personally, I think it's spot on.
I feel like this one's just gonna be one of those where like, it's like Andrew owns his house, he's on terms with Airbnb and I'm your neighbor. And I'm like, he's renting this out and I don't want to track. I think my neighbor has tourists. And then you're,
And the only thing that happens to me, of course, is the fact that, do I have my rules and regulations posted.
Do you have a more than so protector? I
Right.
mean, I feel like that's gonna be one of these, it's not gonna be catching up,
I agree.
it's not gonna be a before.
And I wouldn't expect, someone to come to the judge's office and ask for a permit to post your cabin on there.
I think it's fine, it's just gonna be an after thought, it's not gonna be it'll be a all in like. I think,
But when this is all completed, it won't be on the county website. And the only reason somebody wouldn't come is because they either read it and ignored it, or they didn't read it. Is there any wording you guys don't agree with? 519?
Hey, looks good. Probably have to make some adjustments later. Looks good.
It doesn't, to me, that's like, as far as enforcement goes, it's always coming up.
Oh,
I agree.
want to handle it later on.
Well, we won't know till we come to it.
I'll make a motion to approve. Does everyone, on everyone's copy, does everyone have it crossed out, the one parking space for guests that crossed out on everyone's copy? Okay, on my copy that is, crossed out, so I don't know if some of the, on this online copy.
is it in red? Yeah,
And I'll probably set that, there's,
Scratch that,
yeah.
so do the rest parking and all.
I would probably say when we have a gravel driveway and you're not the right of way or setback. I mentioned that in existing house anyway, they probably.
So, you okay with that? Okay, we're gonna scratch 519.2, the last sentence, there shall be one parking space per guest for each scratch.
Somebody interrupted something.
I'm taking minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. And I all second, much, to approve as for section 5.
Good. Andrew made a motion to approve 519, with the exception of the last sentence in 519.2. Emily second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Passed. Expansion amusement enterprises, including concerts, rodeos, racetrack. This is one we kind of have to pay close attention to, because we have had people, well, for instance, over on Heritage Chapel Road, we had some people had a mud fog deal for several months. Then down at Elk Creek, we've got some, I don't know what it is, dirt track, motocross maybe. So it is an issue. As long as everybody does, has the proper permits and so forth, and everybody's insured, and nobody gets hurt, it's all fine and dandy. That's not always the case. Travis, have you ever had anybody come to you asking for any kind of approval or a site plan for events like these? Sure they do occasionally with the city because like when we had Thunder Valley, things like that. Or rodeo, that it's not something county gets involved with too often. But it's going on. I mean, there's
I put my money around.
rodeo.
Yeah. When I started, that's.
But is that something that you don't issue a permit for that?
No, no. That's all in our memory.
Isn't that more of a health department thing? I mean,
That, yeah, it's state. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
yeah,
I'm not being sick.
Yeah.
But if we were looking at the cabins part, and we said the parking, none of it's allowed on the right of way or in any setback.
Yeah.
You come to 520.1, it says parking is prohibited in the public right of way, but not in setback. If you're gonna stay overnight at a house, you can't be in set. But if you're gonna go to a rodeo or a racetrack, any of those things, you can park in a setback. So let us do the same.
You think we should add or is that back in that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like this for one, it should be good. I feel like this one's more
in which one?
520.1. I feel like you're gonna fit more people at a concert, rodeo, or racetrack than you're going for that other area. That's,
Where would you insert that at?
person.
Oh, but there at the end of that first sentence.
I just, that's welcome to.
I agree with that. And
So then when you go down to 520.5, the location, it says all activities associated, and then in parentheses, it says with the exception of parking, shall be a minimum of 200 feet from the exterior. So I'm gonna set back for parking, but can't do any activities within 200 feet. We can probably park it in that, but so many feet from the setback feet. Then, whatever, what was it, whatever we talked about, an event center? So like, where your headlights are shining in someone's window or something, a big conversation,
yeah, we
I don't,
what
but,
what did we say there?
I don't remember.
What was it?
But I thought we gave it, I don't know if we gave it, but I remember we talked about that.
Yeah,
That's what it was. I think it was just a mural, if you opened up like,
a wedding venue.
or something, like you couldn't park all the way on the property line with your headlights, like if you owned your house, and I opened up a wedding venue. You can't park with your headlights shining on, then we're just gonna be people.
And also in that conversation, we talked about time. So there's this, 20.2 talked about time.
I wonder if we could just, search up there and find it, and if we could just
I have a question in general. I don't, again, we just touched on, something that wasn't built or is currently in use, like let's use this rodeo in Lebanon. Once this gets let's say we tonight approve this hours of between 8 and 10 p.m. And then they go through all the steps and then it's put into our county ordinances. Does the rodeo in Laconia that has existed for years and years, are they now bound to set all their activities at 10 o'clock? Or is it only new construction? Are they gonna have to, I mean, I'm sure there's other things that is,
Yeah, that was, yeah.
or do they have parking spaces that, like, or is it just new construction? They're bound by these. So, I mean,
So,
No, 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 go ahead.
well, you know, I kind of wondered that too. I mean, we talked about it before, we need to just go down the bottom, you know, with regulations. But what do you think? I mean, what's not why? New versus, you know, existing, grandfather.
Well, you're gonna get in trouble is if you have somebody new that has something going on, they have to play by one set of rules, and then you've got another one that's been there for years, and it's different, but how is that fair?
Control. And those are really cool. Great strategy. Quiet and yeah, and the speed of the concept. I feel like one of the other things we talked about is if you're gonna add, like, if you were gonna add on or change something, then you would fall in there. Like if you were changing the structure, you call it old. It's not for me. But it- I like it.
Which did it was here last time we talked about this.
Under two, it talks about under two, it says, hours activities shall only be between 8 AM and 1 AM the following day. We changed that. 11 PM. And for event center,
1 AM the next day.
and then for event center,
I think it's that early.
the same thing, and then all outdoor noise generated activity, which music shall stop at 11.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, right, and it has to be moved to.
I think, but I forget why we did that. It was something about if they did a movie. I don't remember the whole.
I thought it was when,
It has it, you can see what changed.
that's the English regulation for 502 dash, or 502.8. So 11,
Yes,
I don't see the one,
so
up dash is there, 502.3.
what is, why is 1 o'clock, what is that specific to?
every tourism and it's,
Oh, I think they were doing,
so hours of activity, so they're coming outside. That is mean
in
any activity.
here.
If you have a wedding.
Yeah.
At a facility,
Oh,
11 o'clock, everything outside, and so the inside, that's causing noise, and at 1 o'clock, when you shut that down. and have-
Right.
gotcha. So in this case, we just make this 8 to 11, right?
They're down even with is or amusement and all that stuff we need to do.
We want to keep it consistent, so make 11 o'clock right here.
Yeah. I think we took out the noise thing, and we set it up, we don't have a way to measure that.
So scratch the 50 decibels.
We see that.
Scratch the last sentence of 5.16. That's just, all one vote, let's go.
Well, naturally, don't.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Andrew, you could write on our stuff and then for you to view the residence.
Right. I don't care.
But you want to, you're suggesting we totally scratch,
That's what we did previously, the last sentence.
we don't have a way to measure.
Right. In the past, it just, probably on that activity center section, we left it at all our pictures of closer. Better.
We're going to regular. Stop at 11, and set up the stop at the.
So we did already address some of those things.
We had this other section. Okay.
And then we're going to some of those on the church, I was right. Did we change 5/20/22? The hours of activity shall be noon, 8 a.m. and 11,
Yes,
and then we changed it in 5/20/26 as well. So then,
Probably 11. The other two are in the middle to one.
because one was outside, one was inside.
One of them was hours of operation, these are, oh, that's your point. So 5/20/22 hours.
but didn't you say that if it was to make noise, you could go inside, and if the rodeo is outside, and the concert's outside, the racetrack's outside, you can't move those items inside.
Now, it'd be hard to do.
You have to
Sure.
follow 11. But I don't know what kind of race, I don't know, I don't know the race, but I don't know what kind they do.
Well,
We don't have.
City, they struggled with that for years ago. It's 11 o'clock. A lot of people get upset and like that for a long time.
So we're assuming that the prizes, concert, programs, and stuff, all that.
And also the section is titled Transit Easement Prices, so, thank you. Probably, yeah.
Anything else on 520 that grabs your attention that we need to change, alter, and
Are we good with the keeping all activities shall be a minimum of 200 feet from the property lines? Have we done that other places?
I know we've had a footage. I'm pretty sure we did. I don't know. That's off the top of my head.
Do you think leave it?
I was sitting there reading it. I don't really know how big a piece of property these things take place on.
Good.
200 feet is too big or too small. I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be a, as is basis.
Yeah.
So that might be a,
Um,
I might not be able to say,
Actually, not there with the wheel,
yeah,
most of it.
you're gonna walk it off. I'd say that in my head. I don't know how big those pieces of property would be that. But, So Travis is saying that maybe we did 200 feet on the other ones, because that's what the confined feet setback is.
I think you're right. We want to keep
That's what he's saying.
it consistent.
Within 200 feet from the street.
Yeah, 200 feet on the confined feet, it's not a problem, this is going to be the. So, did you say parking was included in that, or not?
That's the word I would. Arguing for house, arguing for putting in the right away, all vehicles. Says, all accidents associated with the
Okay, so it's
which is allowed the property law.
Everybody good with 5 point? I'm pretty sure it was 200 because we want to keep it same as the combined feet. Make a note of that if someone happens to run across that. We'll remember that if it is different, we'll adjust that accordingly. I'm sure that's right.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve 5.1. These changes to this topic.
Andrew's made a motion to approve 5.20 with the changes discussed. Second.
second.
Second by Emily, all those in favor say aye. Okay. Now, I promised a couple of ladies earlier in the week and then last week that we would not let this meeting go on That's 10 o'clock. So given the fact that 521 wind energy conversion systems, it's about 77 pages long. So it was looked through because there are several places where it's highlighted in red. So it's been landscaped. It's all through the fine tooth comb, and I don't think we could ever do that because these are just a lot of regulations. Most of these are regulated by the federal government. If that's not the case, then the state's involved. And most of the people who install windmills are already aware of the federal regulations, which are going to supersede anything we do anyway. So I'm assuming KK got all this information from several other counties in the state of Indiana. And just come up with this on their own. So this is probably very common wordage for windmills. And the good thing about this is if there was anything that contradicted anything we have going on, say for instance, the only thing I can think of is the airport, where their minimum and maximum height requirements come into play, then, these windmills have to go through an FAA permit process. So, like I say, these are regulations that the federal government, with Army Corps of Engineers, FAA, 700, federal agencies. But we still need to prove it, so we'll plan on doing that. Next meeting, or if you guys feel comfortable with what KK has given us. If we did change anything, I don't know what it would be because this is definitely a month.
So I think we need to, one thing I would like to review is what we did with solar and what the, how, because abandoned, how that's taken care of, or
And
decommissioned, or I don't know the right words, but however that word needs, I think. So there's,
Alternative.
yes, thank you.
Not that.
There is, I have read that there is a section on decommissioning fund, 117.
what's that?
So, that's what I was saying. So that is,
Okay, so let's make a note of that. We need to pull up the solar farms abandonment section, because we did add some verbiage to that, because that was one of our concerns we had, and we'll just take the same wordage and add it to this problem.
Also, not to keep jumping ahead, but I don't know if you all remember, but the next section after that is 550, which is signs. We've been over that before. Probably gotta revisit it again.
No,
So if we can find our notes on that.
That's fine.
Add in
We read it. Next month.
afterwards. I
Oh,
don't know where that's located, but that was.
that's fine.
So that's 550, that's another part of it. We have done
Did you get them?
that. So you got to finish that one.
I would-
What do you do?
So that's a couple of the next little things. Oh,
Pictures. Hilarious. Crazy. All right.
Just one quick thing I think for the next meeting, this, we'll figure out how to get this document back up on the TVs for next week, for next month.
Yeah, right.
I think that'd be good.
Okay. We'll do that.
Tricky.
Anything else? Everyone, did you say you were gonna make a motion?
I'm just a big, remember me.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Thank you all.